is table. By using a table start tag, you are going to create a table here. So, under that tag you can see tr tag, this is related to row of the table, and under the tag you can see td tag. By using of this td tag, you can describe or you can insert some data into a table. So, description of the table, define the text of the table, as well as this should be related to tr only, that means related to row of the table only. So, these are the different skeleton, you can say flow of the table, where you want to create a tables, then you should follow this kind of structure. So, here is the table. Once you have created the table, so you can see where I have inserted the data into a table. You can see where is the exact tag exist. So, table which comes with the name of the table, and you can see that tr is one of the row, as well as you can see one of the data which is existed in the cell that comes with the td tag. So, this way you can mark up the table into a web pages like this only. So, based on your requirement, you can show embedded rows as well as the embedded TDs as well as the embedded tables. So, this is the way we will do some tables into our web pages. So, we will do some exercises on those tables. So, here is the example. I want to show this kind of table into my website. So, actually these are the bold ones which are existed in the one row, and others are in different rows in a smaller font. You can see some context here, and I have 4 rows and 3 columns. So, like that we will create some tables here, and next table you can see with the background color as well as some background color with the rows. You can see like this. So, this is the head of the table, as well as you can see some rows with the smaller text. This is the way we will do some exercises on this. So, how can I do that? How can I show the table into my website? So, first we need to use the table as a start of the table creation into our HTML page. So, I have mentioned the table and I have started with the row. This is the end row as well as the start row. This is the start of the row and this is the end of the row. And here I have mentioned the table header. Table header means this comes with the bold as well as comes in the first row of the table. So, this is the way you can mention the table header. So, after that you want to insert some data into a same table with the same headers. So, you can use the td tag, then you can insert the table data into a table. So, this is the way we will do that. But in this first table we haven't used any stylish things. So, we haven't used any stylish decoration for this table, but I want to make some decoration on my table. Then how can I do that? Based on the ID, just I explained, ID is the uniquely defined on the table. By using of the unique ID, we will define some stylish sheets on the table by using of the CSS script. So, here you can see the ID of the table. You can see for this ID what kind of text decoration we have. So, you can see this kind of way we will set the background for this, and we will set the background color for this as well as the color for the text by using of these. So, for header we have used the color with the black as well as color with the white of the text, and I have decorated with the rows with the background color this one, and I have decorated with this. So, this is the way we will do some styles on the tables. So, here is same table I have defined here, same syntax, but I have used the attribute ID. But ID is the very unique thing where I can insert some styles using CSS script. So, once we run on this, then we will get output like this. So, this is the way we will do some tables, and we will create some tables into our web pages. So, this is all about the tables. So we will learn next we will learn the what are the forms we are using, what are the forms we have to create into our websites, as well as the we will do some example forms. What is the forms? Forms is the submission of user input into a server. This is the forms definition. What are the image formats we have, and how can I insert that text into a forms, and how can I define the text boxes as well as the radio buttons as well as the check boxes. All those things comes under forms tab only. So, what are the tab forms, and what are the image formats we are using in this, and we will learn about the sample HTML pages as well as the sample HTML website. So, what is forms? Where I can use these forms? So, suppose you have a requirement to submit the data into a server. So, you can define or you can create the forms in using the HTML, and after that you can design some operations with the server side languages. Then you can insert some data into that form, and you can process the data, and you can see and you can acknowledge or you can display the data into a web pages. So, this is the best way to do the forms, and this is the best advantages of the forms. So, what kind of data I can use for the forms? So, how can I what kind of data I can insert into a forms? So, you can use the text fields, you can use the check boxes, as well as you can use the radio buttons, as well as you can use the drop down and drop related things, and you can use the images, as well as you can use area related text boxes. So, this kind of way, these are the different data I can use for the forms to create a website. So, actually what is forms? Forms is related to user data. User data means such as text fields, radio buttons, all those things. Once I shown the form into a HTML page, then I have inserted some data into different fields. Then I will submit the data into a web page. That means it will redirect to the web server page. What it means, whatever the data you are inserting through the forms, that will go to redirector page that comes with the web server page, and it will process that particular input data. Then it will display result as well as or it will give the acknowledgement for the user input data, that is called forms data. So, once we will submit the data, then we will get a report on the web pages only. So, how can I show these forms? What is the different forms of these forms? So, you can see the visual appearance of the different parts. So, you can give some styles by using CSS, and you can operate or you can process the forms data using JavaScript, as well as you can process the data using ASP.NET as well as the PHP pages, which are the server side languages. So, once you have created the forms in HTML, then I will give some input, then it will go to or it will redirect to server side program page. After that, it will display the reports into a same page by acknowledge. So, what is the flow? Just I have explained, right? What is the flow of the form submission, and what is the display of the form submission after giving the input? So, first we need to create the forms, and we will show the forms into our websites. So, after that, under forms, what we will exist? We know the text data, we know the radio buttons, we have the check boxes, as well as we have some buttons and submission of this particular input data. After that, user will see all the things, all the fields. then here user will enter the data respectively. Suppose I have a text box, then user will enter some text into other text box. Suppose we have a radio buttons, he will take the one radio button, or he will pick up the one radio item, then as well as check boxes, as well as other data. So that means user will enter data into a forms. Then after that, what after that input of data? It will submit. User will submit the input data. Then it will go to a server side program. Server side program is which are the best examples for server programming? Server side programming or PHP as well as the ASP.NET is the best examples you can use to redirect the forms data into a servers. So once you submitted the data, then it will go to server. So under that server side, we have the program to process the forms data. Forms data means user entered data. It will process the data by using of some operations. Then after the page that the server will process the data, then that will acknowledge to the same screen where we have inserted some data into a forms. So this is the way the forms will flow into a from HTML pages to as well as the server side pages. This comes with the web pages only. So this is the way we will do some exercises, and we will do some form submission into a web servers. So this is the graphical way. You can see a user has inserted some data in a web browser. You can see some kind of form there, some text box is there. Then you can insert some data. Then form will submit to the web server where the form processing script is existed. That comes with the web programming language, which is existed with the server side processing. So once the server side processing has been completed, that will respond to the same page. Then he can know he has submitted some data and he got a response from the server. So this is the way of flow of the forms. Then what are the tags I can use to create the forms into a HTML page? So these are the different attributes, different elements. You can see form is the starting point of the form creation, and after that you can see different form elements here, text fields, check boxes, all those things. And how can I insert text fields? Suppose I want to show text in a text box in a form, then I can use that input tag. Input element is a best thing you can use to show the type of the text. So you can use the text as well as the radio as well as the submit type of submit kind of buttons. You can use the input tag for this, and you can see that action. Once you have submitted the data of the form, then what you want to do on that particular form, what action you want to do that on the particular form. By using of action, you can do the changes based on the input data. You want to submit the data, then you can post. You want to post the data, you want to get some reports from the HTTP server. Best way to use that methods, by using of method you can define HTTP methods. HTTP methods means suppose you want to fetch the data from the server, use the get method. Suppose you want to submit some data into a server, use the post method. And here one is the best important attribute is name. Without the name on the particular field, you cannot submit the data into a servers. Without the name attribute, you cannot send request to the server. So you should care about this. And other than this, we have field set. Suppose you want to group the related data, use the field set as well as the legend. Legend is a caption for your grouping data. So these are the different attributes we will use in a forms creation. So we will do some exercises on the form. So by using of forms, nowadays you can see different form types. You can see that user login details. This is also one of the form you can see. And suppose you want to show some address related things, you want to give some feedbacks, that is also one of the form. These are the different forms nowadays we are using on all the sites. All the sites is the basic requirement is the form. So this is the one example form where we want to do some exercises on this. Suppose I have a first name which is labeled, and here is you can see the my key, this is the text box, and you can see the last name is that label, as well as you can see that mouse is with a text box. After that I can submit. I have a submit. This is the button. Once you click on the submit button, it will go to HTTP server or web server, then it will process, then it will acknowledge. So we will create this output by using HTTP. So here I used form. Form is the starting point to create the forms. So form attribute I have form element I have described here. After that I have used action attribute. By using of action attribute, I can process the form data into a server side programming files. So PHP is the server side programming page. So once I submitted the data, it will redirect to action page of .php. So if you have the page, then it will process the data, then acknowledge. So after that you want to give some text box, you want to define some text box in a form, then give the input element and use the attribute of type. Using type, you can see here text, you want to show the text box here. Then this is the way we will do some form, we will do some creation of the forms. So here you can see the type as submit. Submit, what it will do, it will create the button where you want to submit the data into a action underscore page.php. So this is the way we will do, and once you submit the data, it will go to action page.php, but that page is comes with a server side programming language. So for that we don't have that page. So once you click on the button, that will go to action.php data. So this is the basic example. This is the basic example where we can see, and another example I have explained here. I will explain another example here, which is related to legend of the field set. Suppose you want to show some form data, some fields of the data in a grouped manner. Grouped manner means you want to show some particular form in a caption with a legend. So this is the way, this is the example of that particular legend form related things. So here is it is the legend, and grouped with this personal information. Under this personal information group, we have the form. We have the form related to text box as well as the legends. So this is the way we will do some exercise on this. So simply I have mentioned one legend attribute here, one legend element here. By using of legend, you can make them into a grouped manner. As well as here you can see the field set. Field set is the grouping of fields into a one label. So here is the legend is a label which is grouped with the field set. So this is the way I can start the grouping of fields. So this is the way we will do some messages. Suppose you want to, this is a way of creating forms. So next, this is whole related to tables as well as the list as well as the forms. Suppose I want to display the images into a web pages. What are the different tags I can use for the images? So we will learn about these things. IMG is the element where I can start image representation into a web pages. This is the tag where I can define the image. and under this image element we have lot of attributes. Based on the attributes, I can decorate as well as describe the images where I want to display into a web pages. One kind of attribute is SRC. What is the SRC? Source of the image. That means URL of the image, uniform resource locator of the image, means I will mention the path where the images exist. So, another attribute is alt. What it is exactly? What is the importance of the alt attribute? Suppose I have defined the image tag into my HTML page. I want to show that image into my Explorer or web browser. Some browsers will not compatible with the image tag. So, on that situation, what will happen? I want to know why the image hasn't shown in a web page. So, for that purpose, alt is one of the attribute where you can show alternate text if you haven't seen the image on this place. So, this is the importance of the alt attribute, and I want to make some size, height, width of that particular image. I want to show in a smaller way, I want to show in a bigger way. So, use that width and height attributes to define the size of the image. And nowadays basic requirement comes with the maps, and I want to see some location of the particular person. These are the different tags which we will use to show Google Maps as well as the map related things, location related things, as well as I want to see the route kind of things, source to destination, location maps. So, we will use that map tag here to define the image of the maps, as well as you want to point out, you want to show some standard point in a map, then you can see that area as well as the use maps, all as well as the picture. Picture is the best example in the nowadays. What is the importance of the picture tag is, suppose you want to show image in a web page as well as the mobile, as well as in a web browser. By using of picture, you can show the different images in a different devices. So, we will do some exercises on this. So, I want to show Google Maps in a web browser, then so I have a requirement to show office address into my web page. So, this is the way you can show the office address of the by using of Google Maps. You can show like this. You want to show Google Maps in a web pages by using of this example. So, this is the example where I can show the Google Maps as well as the location of the particular point. So, this is the way I can show my map into a web page. So, I have decorated some yellow as well as some decoration things, style sheets for the map ID. Here you can see the script. Script is comes with the JSS as well as the JavaScripts. So, this is the way I can fetch the map by using Google Maps.map. By using of this, I can show the maps into a web pages. So, from that I can show the particular map into my web page. This is the way we will do, and we will show image Google Maps into a web pages. So, comes with the other example. I want to show some image, some animated things. Some animated things I want to show in a web pages. We will make some tags. We will use some tags to show that animation related things under this web page. This is the example for showing animated things into our web pages. So, I want to show some animated image here. So, how can I show this animated image is by using of image tag. I can show that image tag and with some styles as well as the source as well as the altered. Suppose your browser is not able to show that image into a web page, then automatically it will comes with the computer man with the text. So this is the way we will do some so we will do some exercises on the sample pages. So sample page means different pages with the headers, navigation and sections comes with the footer. This is a basic layout of the any website. You can see any website with the basic structure like this. So header is related to your college name or different icons you want to show in a manner, then you can use the header, and you want to show some links as well as some menu related things using the navigation tag, and other than that you can see that footer. So this is the example you can see. So we will I will show some different sample HTML pages here. So this is the header with the background color, and another navigation is there. This is another thing. So this is different layouts you can see here. So suppose you have requirement like this kind of site, you can use this kind of way. So this is a footer layout. How can I show that footers is? So here you can see the header tag. By using this tag, you can show headers in your web page. Suppose you want to write some article, some paragraph, using this article tag, you can show some articles there, and with some background also, and you can show some footers by using of this. Suppose you want to make some styles on the particular tags, you can use like this. Suppose you want to make background for the header, want to do some background for footer, you can show like this. So suppose I want to show some multimedia content into my website, I will use some animated multimedia related options and multimedia related tags to show some videos as well as audios with some icons. So I have a requirement to show my video into my website. So like this you can show the videos into a web pages. So under body part only, everything comes under body part only. By using video tag, you can show your image, you can show your video into a web pages with some width, with some height, and with the controls. With the controls means control with the control. What are the controls? These are the controls. You want to play the video, you want to pause the video, you want to make some sound, you want to download. These are the different controls which comes with the default thing. So this is the source tag. You can use the source tag for show the image, show the video of the particular image. So this is the way we can show some multimedia content into our websites. Nowadays you can see some kind of websites with the hit count. You can see some kind of websites with some processing of some operations on the websites. You can get some good example. Facebook. Nowadays Facebook is a very social, very good social website. You can see where suppose you have clicked on the like button, then that will automatically increase count. It will show the increased count. So that kind of things also happens with the HTML also. So here is the example where I can define or I can increase the count of the hits. So using this example, you can see number of counts here increase. So by using of this example, you can see some on click button. By using of this on click, it will go to some function that is comes with the function that comes under script only. Based on the script, you can increase this count, and once you are clicked on the buttons, then that will automatically process the request. So we will see we will create some websites by using of online builders as well as by yourself also. Whenever you are going to use that online builder, you have to pay something, then that will give some default templates. By using of default templates, you can insert your data and you can see your websites into our World Wide Web. Then other than that also, you can create some HTML pages, and based on that HTML pages, make the communication between the HTML pages, and you can upload or you host that web pages into a website. Then you can see all those things. So here is the one example. You can see this is the one example. We will do some. This is the example. We will do some forms, or we will create some forms, and we will show some static website. So here you can see these are the different. So these are the different forms we have for that purpose. So this is the main thing. From there you can communicate with the different forms and different files. So these are the different HTML files, where by using of these HTML files we have created this kind of website. So this is the sample website where you can see and where you can communicate with the different pages. So this is the way we will do some websites also. After creation of your HTML files, you have to host into a web servers. Then from there you will get some public URL. Then you can upload. You can access that URL through the overall internet. So this is all about the HTML. So on these sessions, means on these HTML sessions, you have learned all about HTML basics, and how can I create the HTML pages, and how can I use different tags, and what is the document structure which we are using in HTML pages. And we will we learn about how to add some web server pages into our HTML pages, all those things. So this is all about HTML. Thank you.